shorty what your name is. Do you have a man who you came with?
All right, well, let's get this thing started again, John.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3.
Why can I count?
I'm keeping that in. Welcome back, y'all. Street Academy Podcast, where we keep one foot in the academy and one foot in the streets. And we back. And we back.
And we back. And we back. And we back.
All right, y'all.
I love the fact that y'all always turned into a musical.
Black people are great at that.
Dr. Hater, you look real festive though.
Thanks. These are my Christmas PJs.
Yeah, stay in the pajamas on break. That's what I'm talking about. Pajamas all
I put them on. I put them on special. But I'm gonna be in them all day tomorrow.
Excellent. You're good looking quite festive too there, John. You got a whole tree in the background and the red and white. And bet on yourself. I love this shirt, John. Yeah. I love it.
Oh, Dr. Hater, are you and your husband, y'all doing the matching? Do y'all do the matching pajamas? Christmas?
Let me tell you something.
Family.
Let me tell you something.
Conley and Belafonte.
I married a Grinch. As a matter of fact, our tree is bare because he ordered a Grinch ornament and was like, I refuse to put the stuff on the tree until the Grinch ornament gets in.
Wow.
However,
oh my God.
However, in the words of Kelly, growth, because this is one of 2 matching pajamas.
Okay.
This has been the first year that we are doing matching pajamas.
Okay.
And when we first started, he would not even wear anything Christmas. Like I had to beg him to wear just like the little Santa hat. Mm-hmm. That was all he was going to give. And now we're up to matching PJs. Okay. So,
this is growth. I don't know. It's Chicago, man. They angry up there, bro.
It's cold.
Hot, boy. I'm just playing. Shout out to my Chicago people, man. We love y'all. I'm just playing, man. Shout out to the Grinch. The Grinch.
Have y'all seen those Universal Grinch videos going around on Instagram?
Yes, they're hilarious.
The what?
It's called the Universal Grinch. It's just this guy. I guess he's at Universal Studios, and he's so good at being the Grinch. It's like, you know how they'll have Santa Claus. You can go take a picture with Santa Claus. You can go take a picture with the Grinch. He's so funny because he's in the role. He's in the role. He's rude. He's angry. It's great.
Yes.
Oh, so real quick, I'm sorry, all of our listeners, or even if you're watching on YouTube, I got a little cold, so I might be coughing throughout the episode. I'm gonna try not to though. Have y'all seen? There's this. It went viral. It was on the Shade Room, and Shorty got a lot of flack for it. She did a video where her 3 kids was sleeping in the bed, and she put on like a Santa outfit with a Grinch, with this ugly Grinch mask, and she climbed through their window and opened it up and like climbed, she was looking, it looked real scary, and went through it, and then like came and was like waking up the kids, and they like 2, 4.
Oh, they're super young.
Yeah, they were super young. And when they woke up, they were screaming for their lives. They were like,
why y'all like to do these to these babies?
And I think the second oldest one was like kicking, and she was just and so it went viral, and people was like, how could she? First of all, a lot of people was laughing, like, yo, that was funny. But a lot of people was like, how could she do that? Scare her kids? Because it really looked real scary. So then she did a follow-up video with her kids and found out that the oldest one was in on it. So the oldest one like stayed asleep the whole time. But the kids was like screaming for their lives, like, Mama, help me, please. It was so funny. It was hilarious.
As long as she knows that she's going to need to put aside some thousands for therapy in about 25 years, then
they'll never forget that.
She need the college fund and the therapy fund.
They're not going to believe in Santa, that's for sure. They're going to be like, I don't believe nobody Santa.
That reminds me, speaking of therapy, that reminds me of that other clip with the Grinch. that has been circulating on social media for a while. It's when like there's a yoga class. Have y'all seen this? There's a yoga class and the Grinch is in the yoga class and the instructor says like, all right, now like let out whatever sound is inside of you, you know, to breathe. And then all of a sudden the Grinch is like, ah! Like it just guts out. And it's just like the most shrieking scream. And then he's like, yeah, I got a lot of problems. And I'm like, that was so perfect. I feel like that is like been 2021. It's just like so much inside of us. It's just like, I'm gonna find it and send it to y'all because it's great. It's so good.
I'm so sorry. Shout out to UPS, Amazon, FedEx, all of those people who are doing the Lord's work this season. I could tell this one was a little bit aggressive. So he's like, I'm here.
Look, my dad called me this morning. My dad worked for UPS and he called me this morning. And I was like, Pops, you at work? And he was like, yeah, man, these people want their packages. I was like,
it's true though.
You right.
I will say since the pandemic, I have started buying all kinds of things on Amazon. As much as you know, Bezos is an incredible issue. I have begun to appreciate why he's as rich as this motherfucker. why he's as rich as he is because now I'm like, have people been doing this the whole time? Like you just go online and you search and you find what you want and you can find it and Amazon brings it like in 2 hours or the next day. I'm like, yo, this is, I mean, because I was on hard time for a second and so I wasn't buying nothing. But now that I'm like, okay, I'm stabilizing, like I can get the little things I want. I'm like, yo, Amazon makes sense. I get it. I get why we're stuck in this thing.
I saw this comedian say, he said, Amazon's so good. He said, man, I almost, he said, I was getting ready to click to buy something. And the dude pulled up and he was like, I just saw you were getting ready to click. I was getting ready to drop something off about 2 blocks up. I said, man, I'm going to just go ahead and drop this off to you, big bro. It's all
dang,
good.
That's funny.
Listen,
Amazon be on it.
Listen, let me tell you something. This target marketing, like how they track us online and stuff, to put the ads for Amazon, to put the ads for all these things, it is dangerous. It is dangerous. I will show you exactly how dangerous. I just got my new sweatshirt in the mail. But like the advertising was so precise. I was like, how can I not get it?
What is it? Let's see.
This is my new sweatshirt. Can you see?
Yo, they advertise that to you?
I need to
yes.
That's got to be the
yes.
What were they listening to?
I don't know. But I was like, how do they know my exact height of my physical stature and the physical height and the height of my attitudinal stature?
It's the metaverse, dog. We in the metaverse, bro.
That's what it is.
We are.
That's what it is. That is exactly what it is.
We in the metaverse.
There was one time it kept running. There was an ad that ran in my Instagram and on Facebook whenever I go there. It literally had my exact lip color on it, the person. And I was just like, not only were they advertising something that I wanted, which I think was like Invisalign it was like glasses, something specific that I'm like, I have talked about this, but down to the lip color, I was like, I have the lip color on. This is crazy to me. It's too specific.
Wild.
It's too specific. Instagram things be so precise.
That's so where I got this on Instagram.
Oh, they doing good with it. I've done quite a bit of my shopping on Instagram.
The analytics are crazy. And another way, it's just like when I think about metaverse, I have not researched or read anything about it. But if really they're just trying to get us to buy stuff, do they buy? If that's the main thing that they get, I suppose it's not the main thing they get. Besides getting our information, what else are they going to use it for besides selling us stuff? To track us, I don't know, because like activate your conspiracy theory hat, please. Like, I'm just wondering, like, I get it. They want us to buy stuff, but what else? Speaking of, what are we talking about today? I think we're talking about everything.
Year in review.
The whole year.
A year in review. 2021. about to do 2022. Have y'all heard people saying that they're hoping that 2022 isn't 2020, comma TOO? Yeah.
I saw that. I
Like,
was like, the way this,
I'm not doing it.
The way this Omarion icebox where my heart used to be, man. It might be.
Do y'all know how to tick? I never learned, man. I really want to still learn. I mean, I know it's like outdated a little bit, but I need to learn how to tick.
Okay, Dr. Hater.
What's going on?
Give Omarion a run for his money.
I'm in there like swim well. Yeah, but okay, cool. So how we starting it out, Amber? I don't know. I ain't got the list.
We're actually starting it off by just talking about one of your favorite people on the planet, John. Don't you recall?
Oh, Kanye and Kim.
Oh,
okay.
Him again.
Kim Ku Klux Kardashian is one of my favorite, and that Kim, if you ever see this, that is not my fault. Okay. Okay. That is not my fault.
To the white woman already. Come on, John.
Okay. I love you, Kim, for real. I support you. Nah, like I'm really, especially when Shorty passed the baby bar exam, and she talked about how she failed all them times and she had to get up and like take it again and all of that. I really be digging Kim Kardashian. Like I really like her move. I do get, the whole blackfishing thing. I definitely understand that. But I don't know, man. I like her moves. I like how she don't really care what people think. She want to be a lawyer. She gonna be a lawyer. She want to get people out of prison. She gonna do it. She wanna, support Kanye, but divorce and live her life. And she gonna do it. Like she do what she want to do. She don't care. I like that.
Well, there's actually a line. I watched it last night in the show you recommended, Godfather Harlem.
Godfather Harlem, shout out.
Yes, and Mamie Johnson said to Adam Clayton Powell, just because you started out on third base does not mean that you hit a home run. And I feel like that is very applicable to, I might have butchered the line, but basically what she's saying, what she was saying is like, you started out so close to the plate that you can't compare that to somebody who wasn't even in the game at first and then got in. And I feel that way about the Kardashians, this little baby bar exam. So she didn't have to go to college. She didn't have to go to law school. She didn't have to like do any of the other stuff that people have to do. And now you get to have like this legal eagle platform. And like, I'm not saying that people can't be self-taught. I'm not saying that people can't do all that, but I just given all the things and the resources that you have, like, okay.
Yeah.
It is true. Like when I think about so John, you said you like her moves. What moves?
So those things I just said, you know what I'm saying? Like I like how, everybody was coming down on her for visiting Trump, but that's one of my favorite things. But she got, was it Latoya Brown out of jail? Convince Trump to grant her clemency. And she's been behind a lot of the moves around, particularly who was the guy was it Nevada or Arizona, who he was getting ready to be executed. And it was a whole big petition. This was like maybe a month or two ago. It was a whole big petition, and then and she was, I don't think she definitely didn't start it, but her voice definitely amplified this man's case. That
is Julius Jones. That was that big one.
I think it was the Julius Jones one. Yeah. So she does that a lot. Like a lot of those people that are greatly presumed innocent that are getting ready to have their life taken or are behind bars, she's definitely behind and helping to support those innocence projects. Again, I like how, the fact that she is a mother of 4 kids, you know what I'm saying? And she just, you know, she seems all this is, you know, on me looking in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know her real life, but I don't know. I like all that. You know what I'm saying? I like how she hosted SNL. Everybody was like, Kim Kardashian hosting SNL. How she gonna, you know, da, 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 da. And she went
I
out
didn't
there.
even know she did
Jokes
that.
about herself. I watched the SNL episodes. It was really funny. She made jokes about herself. I like how even with all this Kanye stuff, and even with the stuff that Kanye did do to her and all the embarrassing things he said, especially about the fact that they was gonna abort their first child, which is not something, you know what I'm saying, his daughter gonna see later on.
Mm.
Never talked bad about that man. You know what I'm saying? She never did. You know, and I'm just like, man, like I just be watching Shorty, and I'm like, again, she ain't like Malcolm X to me or nothing like that, but I like her. You know what I'm saying? I like her move.
We don't have to agree to disagree on that and many other things, Dr. Hader. But, you know, listen, if she is out here doing the Lord's work, then good for her. But I feel like there's so many other folks whose backs she's standing on to do this work, who aren't getting the credit that they deserve, while that credit is being spotlighted on Kim Kardashian.
And then, yay. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Amber.
I was just going to say the irony of starting our podcast episode glorifying a white woman does not elude me.
Eritrean.
She is not Eritrean.
John.
Yes, she like something. Yes, she is.
She's white. Right. Which is white.
European. No. European AF. See, John, they done got you messed up. I promise. They done tricked your behind, because these people are doing. That was another topic that we were going to talk about. Is all this what people have quoted? I mean, have now coined blackfishing. John, being the blackity black mofo he is, he then forgot that Kim K is a white, capital Y, lowercase t woman. Okay.
Okay.
Same when we were talking about Adele, he forgot that Adele was a white woman, because they associated with black men, capital B black men. They done confused. So,
she is.
Another thing, yes, she is. Surprise, surprise. Her skin did not give it away. Her husband did not give it away. Her black children did not give it away.
Armenian, since the 1950s, many Armenians from the middle. So Armenians are from Russia.
They're not from Armenia?
They form the second largest after Armenians in Russia.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Armenia was part of the USSR, like that whole like Russian bloc, Eastern European.
Actually, it's a country in Asia.
That's what I'm saying. Like
you would better not say she Asian.
No. No, but I just
see a person of color. There we go. John just claimed it. I thought Armenia was in Europe, but it's not.
Okay. No, Armenia is a nation of former Soviet republic in the mountainous Caucasus region between Asia and Europe.
Oh well, Caucasus. All right, there we go.
But it's on the continent of Asia.
You know what they call people from the Caucasus Mountains?
Yes, exactly. We're done there. We're done. Caucasus Mountain, you got them. Although they are Caucasians, Caucasians. This is ignorant. I'm like, what the hell?
You know,
so John is about to go around saying Kim K is an Asian woman. She's a person of color. She has a minority-owned business. That is why John loves her, because Kim K is a minority. Thanks, John. That's what we are. Okay. John confused, and now I'm confused as well.
I know. And then Kanye, you know. Kanye been doing this thing. He dropped the crazy album, got all them streams. Man, Kanye.
He squashed the beef. He evolved. He had a whole concert with Drake.
The greatest drink champs interview. Dope. He did the Larry Hoover concert with Drake, raising money to get, you know, the good brother Larry Hoover out of jail.
I think it's weird when billionaires raise money, though. I think that's a really weird, strange phenomenon. I'm not sure why you need to host an event to fundraise as a billionaire.
Absolutely, which is why I never give money in the store.
Ever.
I don't want to sound like a Scrooge or anything.
No,
like,
ever.
I definitely support feeding the hungry, feed like all these little causes that, you know, they are raising money for. I absolutely, you know, support clothing, children, all that stuff. But I also don't want for some multinational corporation to be asking me for my $3
exactly. That's
or
why
to round up my 50 cents.
That's why I
Y'all got it.
prefer to do self-checkout during the holidays, because then the person doesn't get to ask me, do you want to donate money to cancer? And I have to tell them no, because it feels worse when I have to say no. It's like, do you want to support, you know, St. Jude's? Do you want to donate money to the children? Not today. It feels weird when you have to say it versus just clicking no on the screen. So I avoid I just go to self-checkout during this little period, because no, I'm not going to say it out loud, but I'm with you. Billionaires, why are you asking me for $1? Why? We're fundraising for, when you could literally, $1 million to you is nothing. It's not even, it's like $1 to you, because that's how much you have.
Right.
$1 million is not a lot. I'm not gonna go there.
Gotcha.
Right.
Or we could go there. Yeah.
You know what I often do is like, I will go and like calculate stuff based on my salary. So like when I was in graduate school, our stipends were like $20,000 a year. So I'd be like, all right, if they have $1 billion and they're giving $1 million, what would that percentage be of like 20,000? And, you know, like stuff would come out to like 25 cents. It would come out to like 50 cents, like stuff like that. And I'm like, even as a broke graduate student, I can give you $1, 50 cents, like stuff like that. So that really helped to put stuff in perspective for me.
That's a good thing.
It's confusing. Well, speaking of that too, this year, the year of Black billionaires, Rihanna became a billionaire this year. That sparked internet conversation about what does it mean to be a Black billionaire? What does it mean to amass that kind of wealth? And at the same time, be a member of a quote unquote marginalized group, although she's coming from a country where everybody Black. So I love that. But then with that, you know, right next to that, we got, you know, the Carters doing the ad campaign for Tiffany's and that whole issue with the diamond. And it's just like,
what was the issue?
You don't remember the whole stuff with Beyonce wearing the Tiffany diamond and people were like, oh, the Tiffany diamond is a blood diamond. How could she wear it? You know, how could she not know the history of the whole thing? And
didn't her boo have that whole song? No, that was Kanye West who had.
Jay-Z was on the remix.
Ooh, he sure was. I thought that, but I was like, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not right. But well, yeah.
So it's like Black billionaires, are they detached from the rest of us?
Well, okay. I'm glad you confirmed that he was on the remix, because I always say at some point, like, if you are a capitalist, it's going to run against these values. And for Jay-Z to be in this song where they are not the whole song, I mean, obviously the whole song is about like amassing wealth in the form of diamonds, but some of the lyrics are questioning like blood diamonds and that kind of stuff. So to participate in something where you are suspected of wearing this blood diamond, but yet you have this espoused value of not wearing blood diamonds, like at some point, like you're gonna have to make this choice, and capitalism often wins. And I don't like it.
Capitalism do be winning. Like John, in the Dream Champs interview, didn't Kanye say something about pirating something as a billionaire? But then he said, like, I don't like to pay for it. He didn't pay. He said it was either like, it was something that he did not pay for. Like it was him being a pirate. I forget what it was, but he was talking about something. I don't know if it was porn or it was like something. He was like, yeah, I don't pay for it.
Like it might have. Oh, okay. I do think. I think it was porn. Yeah, I do remember.
So it's like, even as a billionaire, you doing the pirate thing. It's funny to me, the relationship to capitalism.
You gotta use the pay.
It's all of us.
I mean, but you know what? But think about it though. Again, think. I mean, Okay, so people may look at you, right? Right. We're not billionaires by any stretch of the imagination, but we're also not on the street either. You know what I'm saying? We have places to live, warm house, food, all that, and we can do a couple things that we might want to do, maybe travel about, buy some things we want or whatever. What if somebody came up to you and was like, I don't know, maybe a homeless person said, "Hey, can I borrow $1?" Or, "Hey, can I have $1 or $5?" And, this particular time you said no. And they was like, "You got a car. I know you got it." Like, maybe I do have, you don't know what I have. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I do have it. Yes. But I don't know. I just don't like when people tell me like, "You got it. I know you can do it." But you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if that's like a full parallel. Like,
I don't
someone asking me to spend my money on something that I may or may not want is different than me desiring to have something and not wanting to pay for it if I do have the means to do it. So I think like a more appropriate parallel would be like me going to, I don't know, Applebee's, let's use a Black restaurant. Let's say I'm going to Slutty Vegan and I want Pinky to give me free burgers, even though I know that I came to this restaurant because I was hungry and wanted this, $15 meal. I have $15. I want a $15 meal, but I also want to like steal it. Like that's a bit more of like a parallel to me.
And I get what you're saying, John, about saying like you're basically saying like when we see billionaires, we're like, well, you should be doing this with your money. You don't like the idea of us being able to, of anybody else being able to tell or judging somebody else for how they use their resources. That's and good. I still see that
to a degree.
You're right. I still see it not as the same thing as I would say like the regular smuggler person, because we are the majority of Americans and the majority of American companies, apparently, once the pandemic hit, we're like 1 month away from homelessness almost, or 2 or 3 months or something. Yeah. We are so close to that line that when there might be a request for something, there are a lot more negotiations. I can imagine the billionaire life is so drastically different. And that's the thing where I think where the internet really has us twisted, thinking that these people are like us, because they're not. Like their daily life is so incredible. Like we cannot fathom it. I remember what was somebody saying? I can't remember, but it's just like, I don't know what billionaire conversation is. I don't know what billionaires talk about all the time. They talk about different things than I would probably be talking about, because my life is like right now, it's like I have to work in a specific way to just kind of make ends meet, blah, 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 blah. It's such a different life. Like I remember seeing Oprah even talking about something. She said, she don't grocery shop. She don't go to the grocery store.
Right.
She was like, I don't know the last time I went to the grocery store. And then I was watching her do like one of her favorite things. She said something else that was just so beyond me, of her just talking about like a regular thing that she's just never done or hasn't done in so many years, that I'm just like, we really like social media will have us thinking that we know these people, that we identify with them in some way, or that we're like them in some ways. On a human level, are we all humans? Yes. Do we breathe? Do we urinate? Do we shit? Do we do all those things? Yes, on a human level. But the day-to-day, the mental process, everything, it's just like, you also have to be able to sleep at night knowing that you have this massive amount of wealth that could be used to not just bring one person completely out of homelessness, like completely, but to bring nations out of homelessness. To me, that's interesting. And when I say homelessness, we're literally saying you could right now be like, and it would not hurt you. It would not even hurt you. You would not even feel it. Okay. Entire nations. And when I say homelessness, I'm talking about the 360 degrees. I'm not just saying giving them a home. I'm saying paying for therapy, paying for rehab, paying for all of it. You can literally take millions of people out of the situations that they are in and begin to help them and help them to mobilize themselves and have completely different lives. That's interesting to me when we have many billionaires in this world and that type of thing doesn't happen.
It's funny.
When it won't hurt you at all. The person on the street who I have to turn away because I don't have the dollar or the $5 or something. And I'm not saying I don't have a responsibility to them, because as human beings, I think one of the issues in our modern times is that we don't feel connected to people. We don't see ourselves in other people who are struggling in a way that we aren't. So then people have a tendency to judge them more. Do we have a responsibility to people? Yes. We also have discretion. And I think discretion is important. I'm just saying, I don't think it's the exact parallel when it comes to like a billionaire. It's just, I just don't see it as the same thing.
I think it's funny, Amber, that you brought up like that sort of ability to bring like nations out of homelessness and like, yeah. And I think about Mansa Musa, because like I feel like he has been cited so much in like songs and stuff as like this very wealthy Black man to aspire to. But that aspiration is also that he destabilized economies as he traveled, because he was giving so much money to people who were in poverty that it upset like the social balance. Like you can't have a economy if people can now afford to like not be in poverty. Like, and it just made me think about billionaires now. Like when we think about these Black billionaires now, perhaps they can say that they are on Mansa Musa's financial level as far as like being so wealthy that you just have amassed all this money, but they are not even touching him, not even close to his impact. Because if they were Mansa Musa, they would also be destabilizing the US economies or other national economies with how much they are pouring into Black communities.
Oh, okay. So that's a story I didn't get. I didn't know whether or not to say yes or no. I need to read more about Mansa Musa. So he was doing good for the people, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In that sense. Okay, sorry. So
yeah, like the stories go that like, let's say he traveled from one country to another country and past countries in between. As he was just on his merry little way, he was just giving out so much money to people, regular, ordinary people, that the economy in those countries that he just passed through became unstable.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Because at that point, it's like, it's not just like one Oprah. It's like everybody's Oprah now. Everybody got Oprah money. So now what we gonna do?
Yeah, he like price of gold. Like he gave away so much gold. Gold didn't even have that. It didn't even have any value at that point. So, but now Elon Musk, though, I don't know if y'all saw that tweet. Elon of the World Health Organization tweeted or said something about how, you know, these billionaires have basically everything y'all said. These billionaires have enough money to get rid of hunger in the whole world for the next 100 years or something like that. But they just won't do it. And Elon Musk replied, he said, send me the numbers and I'll send you a check. He said, I'll write a check right now. Send me the number. And we ain't heard from the World Health Organization since.
I would love to see what develops out of that. That would be wonderful.
But you can Google it. He was like, tell me what it is. And then
that would be a great example of somebody. I guess the thing too is, and I think about Mansa Musa now, and I think about also the argument of becoming a billionaire, right? Like in order to get there, especially in a capitalistic world economy, you more than likely are using slave labor of some sort, right? And yet in order to be able to have the impact at the level that you could have the impact at the level of, you know, upgrading an entire nation or cities or whatever, you have to get to the point where you can actually amass the amount to be able to do that. So it's like, do the ends justify the means? It's like, if I have to get to $1 billion in order to spend $1 billion, so how do I get there? You know, and so it's just like, does that make it okay? Because it's just like I have to be able to save $1 million to spend $1 million to be able to just write the check, you know, and so there's that as well.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. He said somebody said 1/6 of your 1 day increase will save 42 million lives that are knocking on famine's door. And then a few days later, Musk said if the WFP, which I guess
Working Families Party.
I don't even know.
That's my guess.
I guess it's an organization that deals with poverty or something. But he
That's
said
my guess.
if the WFP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it.
Boo, you know what? That's a front, because they're not about to do that in a Twitter thread. Have an actual conversation. Like call me. To me, that's not the equivalent. You don't do business like that. Everybody, I'm gonna send 6 billion. Is that a promise? Is that a Twitter contract? If you're really about that, be like, hey, call my offices, send a report, because that's how this stuff be happening. You're not just about to do that. Sorry, that's a front. That's like a comeback. That's all that is. A comeback. If you can describe in this Twitter thread how you can spend, I'm gonna need to send you a whole spreadsheet. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, but if I put it this way, if he let's just, I mean, we all know this is publicity and all of that, but let's say he was for real. Let's say he was like, if you can explain to me in this Twitter thread how $6 billion can, I will write the check to help end world hunger. Like, man, y'all get on this Twitter thread and do it. We don't have to send an email. We don't have to send an official report with a document and other. If this what he said and he for real, man, put this shit on the Twitter thread and let's end world hunger.
Right. The question is he for real? That feels like one of those little promises that white people will give to somebody else. Be like, if you do this, I'll do it. And then what happens? They'll be like, oh, well, they'll add another clause. And how many times have we seen situations like that? I can't name one right now, but it's kind of like, hey, if you do this, then we'll do this. And it's just like, oh, I didn't really mean it. And you did all that work and people be scrambling, trying to figure shit out. I don't know. Like, to me, that was very white of you. It's like, prove it. I need to prove to you how this is going to help. You know how money works, mofo. You absolutely know how money works. Don't request to me how the money is going to work to do this. Get out of here. You know how your money works. You know how you trying to get to the effing moon, and you trying to tell me that you don't know how this money could help a bunch of people have food and survive. You don't need a report for that. Don't be glib. That's a glib comment. It's like, well, send me a report, bitch. No.
I'm glad you said that, Amber. I didn't think about it like that.
Screw you. You trying to get to the moon.
Was that him? Or was that
both of them?
Oh, both of them. That's
both of them.
This year-end review. Yeah, niggas out here going to the moon. Elon Musk, yeah.
The way you said that. Niggas out here going to the moon and people still starving like hell.
Exactly.
Worst year of their lives. Pandemic 2020 to now, worst combined period of time for people's lives. Okay.
Like, I'm out of here, bro.
And they have quite, I don't know what the figures are, but they have multiplied their wealth, like, and probably on a part because of me, because I start buying stuff from Amazon during this period. So there's that. For sure. I'm sorry I have contributed to the wealth. But yeah, y'all like, man, I don't know what to do with my money. Whew, let's build a spaceship, nigga. It's crazy. Nice. Enough about the rich white people, though. Let's go to something else. What else happened this year that y'all got to talk about?
What we on, man? Entertainment. We on entertainment, man. What was some of y'all favorite albums that came out this year? Favorite albums, favorite shows. Okay, we'll start with albums.
Okay.
We'll go to shows and then we'll go to movies.
Who's gonna start? Oh, Jackie. You look like you got something.
I don't, because y'all know I'm not as big of a music head as y'all are. I don't want to. I am.
Yeah.
And he said so many that he liked, and they just kind of went in one ear and out the other. I don't want to steal your one, Amber, but Jasmine Sullivan, she's the one that did it for me this year.
Yeah.
To just reach this kind of place where it's just like she's more visible and more people are just talking about her because she's been so good. She's been through so much. And I'm just like, I just love seeing this like shine that she's experiencing right now, this attention.
Absolutely.
I'm just so happy for her, and I just identify with her in just various ways, like that she's been putting out there more just about, you know, having different insecurities but trying to push past them, just needing to believe in herself in a different way. Like I just feel her on so many levels. So I'm just so happy that she's having this moment. When Hotels first came out, me and some of my homegirls, we had a call because we were like, we got to talk about this. So we had a whole Zoom call. And I remember my impression of it at first was like, I'm a little disappointed because it's just like, I love Jasmine, but I wish her topics were different. And I will still say that it's like, I was wanting Jasmine Sullivan to give me like NDRE lyrics, but with Jasmine Sullivan voice, and musical sensibilities. But it's like, that's not her experience. But it's just like some of the music and the stories I can't identify with as much because they're not my stories. And I am trying to be more intentional about the types of words that I sing over my body. You know, like I remember a long time ago, you know, her song, If I Could, like the whole In Love with Another Man. I'm like, do I want to put this over myself? Like, cause this feels like a curse. Like, I don't want to necessarily do that. Or like on her album where it's just like, she's like, I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to do this in one of her songs. Or talking about the other song was like, I'd rather live a lie. So I'm like, all of these are messages that I don't actually want to put into my like body and like own, because that's what music is. When you're singing this stuff, you're singing it into your spirit, into your space, into your life and stuff. And so I feel like some of the tracks on Hotels were similar for me, where I'm like, I don't know if I want to sing this over myself. And yet on that call with my friends, and since then, I've just seen how so many women identify with this, and it just gave them so much voice. And that's so valuable. And I'm like, you know, I didn't identify with it, and maybe I was a little disappointed in that way, yet I want to embrace Jasmine Sullivan as the artist that she is. And so this is where she is now. And not to try to be like, oh, I'm evolved past some place, and so she needs to get to, not to say that at all. It's just to say that I appreciate what she's putting out there, what she is putting out there, and what I can respect and identify with is the authenticity, is the honesty, is the vulnerability, is the bravery that it takes to say all of the things she's saying, and the way that she is elevating other voices of Black women. That is beautiful and it's so powerful. And I'm just glad that she's getting a little bit of her roses right now. Like I'm so excited for her. And I just keep thinking about like how she's going to continue to just make moves and just be out there. One disappointment though was when she sang the national anthem and it had to be a duet. Like that to me was like ridiculous. Remember, it was at the Super Bowl or something. I don't remember what the event was, but she sang it with that white man, whoever.
I don't remember any of that.
Jasmine Sullivan could have done this completely by herself. She did not need. No, I don't know if they were trying to bring like people together, like a racial, collaboration or something, but she didn't need him at all. She was totally fine by herself. And her voice on it was just so beautiful. So I just love her. I'm so happy for her. And I love how I don't know if y'all haven't been checking out her stories, but she always get into some silliness in her stories on Instagram. Like she's always, she puts out a question to the fans, and like, she'll be asking them, what are some of their hotels? And so they be sharing them, and it's like, it's crazy. It's so juicy. It's so good. I think she still
has to get on it.
I think she still has them saved on her stories, like, in the highlights. Is amazing and funny and interesting. And then at the same time, she put out things where she asks people to just ask her any questions, and so she just answers them. And I just love what she's doing right now. So I'm a big fan of Jasmine Sullivan, and Jasmine Sullivan is winning in 2021 to me. So she was one of my highlights of the year.
I'm gonna tell you something that she's not winning at for me, and this might or might not be any of her fault. I don't know. Them ticket prices for her gatherings.
Yeah.
Woo, I was like,
yesterday's price is
But see, it was because
Hotels
of scalpers, though.
Yes,
it was because all of those people bought up her tickets and are reselling them. It's all the resellers. And that's the problem. She did not have those prices. And that's what sucks, because the prices are now like, it's $1,000, $1,200, excuse me, like $300, and a lot of people can't do that. Because I was like, oh, I'm getting me a Jasmine Sullivan. She announced this tour, let's go. And then it's like Atlanta, $1,000 or something. I'm like, guess I'll be watching a live performance via
whatever it's on.
Yeah.
Listen,
I love Jasmine Sullivan.
2021 was definitely the year, going off of Jasmine Sullivan, was the year just black women R&B in general, because your girl Summer Walker,
Summer Walker did
man,
release. Did you like her album?
I listened to about half of it. It was good. I like that song. That bitch your ex for a reason. I was like, this with the city girls on there. That bitch your ex for a reason. I was like, man, like her. Ari Lennox is like my favorite out of that whole generation. But yeah, man, Summer Walker, man. Who else had dropped? Somebody else had dropped too. I love Big Lotto. I love that shorty. You know,
I do not know who this person is.
Big Lotto, Mulatto. She came out like her.
Mulatto. Yeah. She lost me at her name, so I haven't followed her since.
Yeah, that's why she changed it. That's why she changed it.
But I thought she was just Lotto. She's Big Lotto now.
Yeah, she Big Lotto. I just love her energy. She young. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, her album is called Big Lotto, and her name is Lotto. She is Lotto, known professionally as Lotto or Big Lotto. Okay, yeah. That's interesting.
I always say Big Lotto when she be doing stuff, but yeah, I think black women doing their thing, and you know what I'm saying, in music, this year, man, and I love it. I love it. So
what other albums did I check out this year? I'm trying to think. I feel like the year just going.
Well, while you doing that, I gotta say honestly, my favorite album this year, I was talking to some of my homeboys. It's a done deal. Nas's King Disease 2.
Really?
Oh man, let me tell you something. That album, man. Like when it came out, I was texting everybody that I knew that cared. I was like, bro, this album right here is it. Like for real. Nas King Disease 2, definitely top notch. Not 21. J. Cole Off Season, definitely top notch. This dude, I mean, he's kind of known, but not mainstream known, but his name is Russ.
Mm-hmm.
He got an album called Chomp 2. He's I don't know what he is. He got to be like Indian or something. But when I tell you this dude is a monster lyricist, he has the best of the best rappers on his album, and he's going toe to toe with them. Jadakiss, The Game, West Side Gun, like the whole Griselda Boys, Snoop Dogg. Like he got the best of the best on there, and he's doing verses with these dudes. Styles P going hard. I'm talking about everybody like, yo, this dude is net, like for real. And he not even.
His name is Russ.
He like Indian or something, but the dude is nice. He from Atlanta, and the dude is nice, like nice.
Okay.
Like if you like hip hop in terms of like lyricists, like real rappers, like people who can really spit bars. Russ Chomp too, man. What else? He didn't drop an album this year, but Time Magazine Person of the Year. Take Elon Musk off of there and put Jadakiss on the cover.
Really?
In that verses with him and Dipset. Yeah. I ain't say him, the Locks and Dipset. And that nigga Jadakiss just came spitting. That joint went stupid viral. Jadakiss is absolutely like he solidified himself. Top 5 MCs of all time. Jadakiss Time Person of the Year.
Well, speaking of that, what you think about what Jay-Z said about nobody can come against him?
I see you hating. What you gonna say? What you gonna say?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Is he who? Is that a far-fetched statement?
No, the only person who I think could do it is his boo.
Oh, a Beyonce versus Jay-Z versus.
Ooh.
That would break the internet.
Yeah.
It would break the internet. Hear ye. Are we the first people to suggest this? I want to say we are. Can Beyonce and Jay-Z do a versus? That would be amazing.
That'd be dope. And you know it'll be friendly because they probably do friendly competition anyway.
I mean, of course, but it would be amazing.
So yeah, that'll probably be a dope, a cool versus.
I would love if it was fake unfriendly though. It would be funny if it was like like more like aggressive kind of energy, like nigga,
Mhm.
please, boom, that kind of thing. I would
I'm
love
sure it'll
that.
be a little because they're both like competitive. I don't think you reach like that caliber of artist without being like a competitive person.
Mhm.
And I'm not even saying like competing against others, but like just wanting to be the best. And so I could see just that spirit
It's
coming
so
out.
good. But you know, Versus doesn't do cross genre, but I do think crossing the genre would be funny to be like. I mean, but actually, Beyonce is kind of becoming a rapper now. She's kind of been a rapper for some years now, so maybe she can just do her rap track. This would be hilarious. That would be. I would be there. I would be so prepared for that Versus. I'm like, I'd sign up for whatever app or anything needs to be done. I'm like planting myself in front of that one.
It will be excellent.
That'll still be Jay-Z versus Jay-Z because I believe Jay-Z ghost write and Beyonce raps. Say I'm lying. You
give my girl some credit.
Quit playing.
Well, I mean, obviously she has writers who write, so I don't think he writes.
Writer, the nigga in the Songwriter Hall of Fame.
No, I don't think he. I don't think he
married to the Songwriter Hall of Fame.
No, I'm sure he has helped write some. I don't think he has written all of them. I don't think he's written all of them by himself.
Who was writing? Hey, what you doing? Yeah, I'm doing mighty fine. That's in my scene.
Exactly.
She's been rapping since her Writings on the Wall days.
Exactly.
That shit is corny. I could tell she wrote that.
You a hater. You a hater.
I know Jay-Z ain't right there. He was like, bro, we ain't that close. We ain't that cool yet. But by the time she got like deja vu, her rap started, her lyrics started changing. I'm like, oh, Beyonce.
This nigga, she wasn't 15 anymore.
Yeah, she wasn't a little girl. She wasn't a teenager. And granted, I don't know who actually wrote those lyrics, but I'm gonna just say that. I'm
just saying, but you can. But all I'm saying is that the closer her and Jay-Z got, and when they got married and all of that, her bars and her flow got better. Y'all may want to attribute that to growth. I'm attributing that to the fact that you were one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Both. They're not mutually exclusive. She's not only no longer 16 years old, she's also a grown-ass woman, you know. So just like she's growing, it's beyond, it's decades, literally decades. And then you are with somebody who will call themselves the greatest rapper of all time. And so you're gonna get some influence there for sure. But to say that he's writing her lyrics is a different story.
I believe he writing her lyrics, and she probably writing his hooks. I don't believe he can have super dope, you know what I'm saying, verses and melodies on hooks before. You know, I believe they definitely influence each other. That's the purpose.
Right. I can go ahead. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that collaboration, I suppose. It's fine. It's something about being a rapper and lyricist that, you know, I want to give her all the credit. Because I just believe in Beyonce.
Sometimes you gotta come at the Beehive like, all right, listen.
I did. So speaking of maybe not albums, but individual tracks that I enjoyed this year from Black women. Be Alive by Beyonce coming out from Serena and what was the King Richard movie?
That was a good one.
It's just like I just love Beyonce, so I'm just like, it feels so good to be alive. It's just like, yes, man. I want to sing that instead of, you know, the hardness of the past few years. And then also my favorite
Black Parade this year, or was that last year?
I think that was last year.
Was it
last year? 2 years ago.
The other song that I really loved, favorite lyricist of all time, who's come out of woodworks, Lauryn Hill with her song on the Harder They Fall soundtrack. I played that a quadrillion times as soon as it come out. Yes, you didn't hear the song? I mean, I know she also came out. She was on Nas's song. Nas's album, but she had a song on the Harder They Fall, and I love that song. So I'm just like,
I gotta go listen to that.
I just love hearing Lauren's voice. I just love hearing her voice. So those are my favorites.
Cool. All right. Well, since you talked about King Richard, then let's go ahead and transition to movies. What movies did y'all see, man?
King Richard was a good one.
King Richard.
I haven't watched it.
I did enjoy it.
Really?
I did enjoy it a lot.
Top notch.
The first thing that came to mind though were a couple of shows, and they both happen to be on Netflix.
Netflix getting all my money. It's true. Well, no, they're getting my sister's money. Never mind. But they're getting all my viewing. They're getting my viewing.
Wait a minute. You got it. You got
Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah,
I pay for other things. Okay, my brother. I pay for Amazon.
You ain't got to explain to this hater.
I'm not a billionaire, okay? I'm doing what Netflix designed Netflix to be, which is a sharing platform. No matter what, and that's why Netflix doesn't even care. Netflix does not even care. They're like, yeah, 3 or 4 accounts. You just can't have you can't have them running on 15 devices. They're like, we know y'all are doing this, but we're gonna monitor y'all a little. And at the same time, they have, if you want to pay a little bit more, you can have even more devices, right? So Netflix knows what they're doing, and they still making billions about it. They're fine. They're like, I don't care. Share it. Watch it. You still gonna get your.
I believe in taking from the establishment. The establishment took from
correct.
So many centuries.
Correct.
I'm fine.
So,
did y'all watch Bridgerton?
I did watch Bridgerton.
I watched it this year.
Was it this year? I can't remember. This year has been long.
It was early this year. It was right at the top of the year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I did watch Bridgerton. I did.
I enjoyed Bridgerton.
Bridgerton was fun.
And I also enjoyed Lupin.
I love Lupin. That's been one of my favorites. I love it. And I love watching it actually with the subtitles, because I like seeing them speak in French and hearing how they're the intonation and stuff, because it's just it's different when they say it in a language, and I can just tell, even though of course reading it isn't the best. So, but I watched it with the subtitles, and then I watched it almost all the way again with the English voiceover, because I'm I also want to see how they how that changed the whole experience too, because I really loved it. I really did love it. The one
did you watch it, John?
I did not watch it. I didn't
watch it. Go ahead and put that on the list. It's really good.
Lupin is good.
I think I want to say I started it. I'm just looking up some of the top movies and shows this year. I think I started it, but I didn't. I think I watched maybe 1.5 episodes.
Something I didn't enjoy, but I watched it all because I couldn't stop watching it, was Squid Games.
I ain't watching it.
I watched that thing.
It says, I mean, what's your perspective on Squid Games, Jackie?
I enjoyed it. I mean, it is gory. I probably won't watch it again. If there is a season 2, I'm torn on whether I'll watch it, but it's one of those shows that just came highly recommended, from every angle I was getting. Watch Squid Games. And so I did. And plus, at the time, there were so many memes coming out about it that I was like, obviously, everybody's watching it. Let me see what all this hype is about. And I mean, I thought it's one of those, dystopian type series. And I love dystopian, I don't even know if that's its own genre, or maybe a subgenre of something. But, from The Matrix to The Hunger Games, I just enjoy dystopian entertainment. I don't know what that says about me or the world or both, but I do.
I mean, it's successful too, because people are living this and being able to, I think for what made Squid Games interesting is the way that the director and the writer combined such, I guess, universal kind of issues and things that people have. So you're talking about competition, you throw a little bit of love in there, you throw in family dynamics, you throw in money and economics. It's such a driver. And because you can't have the conversation about economics without poverty in that sense. And so and also debt, and stress. So it's they're talking in a sense, it's you have this whole thing about all these stressed out people, you see the impact of stress and how stress can lead to a lot of bad decisions. But then what is a bad decision when you are completely stressed? And when you want to liberate yourself, what does it mean to be free? So it's all of those conversations of freedom and bondage. It's what are we enslaved to? I think that was a big piece of things that just people identify with, because we feel that sense of slavery to some things, and you want to get free. And what will people do to free themselves? People will go to drastic measures to free themselves from something that feels like enslavement. And so I feel like that's why so many people identify with it, because it's like you're just kind of watching it and it's just like, it's an allegory in a sense. It's metaphorical, but then you could also imagine how, like, could this actually happen in the real world? Like, could this happen?
Now, the way you explained that, I might watch it now.
Well, I mean, the other part of it that was interesting to me is this is completely in another country. This is a Korean film, and it was Korean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just like, it also sensitizes me to being an outsider of a culture. And so not knowing the way that they do comedy in some ways, and having to get accustomed to that even, and I appreciated it being a non-American film. So it's just like, yeah, there's so much more I need to learn about different cultures and different, like, why this works in this way. It's just, I felt good about that too. However, I did not feel good about like what I was watching. I'm very sensitive to gore and all that kind of stuff. And it is completely gory. That's why I don't think I would watch the second season. I'm sure I can imagine maybe where it would go, but I cannot. Squid Games, the images to me are so strong. I don't think I can ever get them out of my head, because they were that like well done, unfortunately. Well, fortunately and unfortunately, it's just like the visuals are just like, wow, whoever came up with this, you really, it's just well done in that sense. But I can never get these images out of my head. Nothing else I've seen looks like that.
I will say that after that first game, the first game, but after I knew what it was, I was prepared. I was like, I know I can sense what's coming, the shift in the music. I will avert my eyes, because that first one was gory.
It was the most horrible train wreck. I could not stop it. It was horrible. For me, it was horrible. Other people, John, don't be afraid, because other people be like, you watch, what's that one that everybody loves? It starts with a G, or is it a G? That show, it's the show that went on for a long time and then had a terrible ending.
Grey's Anatomy?
Game of Thrones. What did you say, Jackie?
Grey's Anatomy.
He is going on for a long time.
Is it still on?
I think so. I don't know.
I'm like, y'all still talking? Y'all ain't exhausted all of the human condition. Man.
Game of Thrones, yeah. But people say Game of Thrones is really graphic and stuff. And so if you can handle that, you can handle this. I just didn't ever watch Game of Thrones for that very reason. I don't like the balance. And you know what I prefer? So Black women, I feel like had a good year this year in terms of some of the media that came out. Insecure came back out, finishing their final season. Speaking of that, Issa is winning. Okay, go.
No, I just heard, or like I saw on Twitter that they re-recorded the end of the final episode.
Really?
Yes, like 2 weeks ago or so.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I heard they had two, though. I heard they had like two or three endings.
Well, maybe this is the second ending, or a third or a fourth or whatever it was, but it's now a new ending. So I am looking forward to the DVD version with the outtakes or whatever it's going to be.
Oh yeah, I would love that.
Because I would love to see all of that stuff.
I will say though, as much as I love Insecure, I felt like in some ways the dialogue was lacking this time, and where it was lacking, the show Harlem on Amazon Prime gave it to me. Like I am watching Harlem again with my friends who are here. My friend who is here in town with me. Like I love Harlem. It is. I mean, in some ways, it's like, can you kind of? Is it predictable? You can kind of find out what's happening. Yeah, sure, whatever. But I love it. I love it so much. I really tell like Black women, watch Harlem. Go watch Harlem. It's enjoyable. You will laugh. It talks about a lot of different topics. I feel like they're handling the topics as well as they can and within the time frame that they can. I feel like some people, like I was reading the reviews, I'm like, some of y'all just be expecting too much. I don't know. People really, I feel like, okay, let me say this. I feel like these days, people just want everything to be a documentary sometimes. It's like, if it isn't as completely as true to life and like researched to the beginning of time, a specific topic. People are so nitpicky and just like, well, they should have done this and they should have been true to this. And I'm like, this is fiction. Can we say that? It's fiction. They have a time frame to do some of these things. And so in some ways, I feel like the expectations of these internet weirdos right now, in which everybody can be an internet weirdo in their own way. Everybody is focused on whatever they're focused on. I just feel like I didn't appreciate some of the reviews that I saw of Harlem, but I love it. And I feel like it's also one of those things that Black women can identify with. I don't necessarily expect a lot of other races to enjoy it that much. They could enjoy it, but I don't really care. But I feel like if a lot of Black women or Black people were to watch it, they would just be like, this is that. So I super enjoyed Insecure. I'm not Insecure, Harlem. With that though, there was Queens. John, I know you were watching. Didn't you say you watched Queens too?
Queens
on Hulu.
It started off a little rocky for me. I was like, what is this? But after like the second, third episode, I was like, okay.
Yeah. Brandy and Eve and what's her name? I never remember her name. I feel bad. The one from 3LW. What's her name?
Naturi Naughton.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Her and then the random, I guess, Latina woman. I don't know who she is, but it is. I would also say it's a train wreck of a show, but in a completely different way. It's not a Squid Games train wreck. It's a Tyler Perry train wreck type of situation. But it's fun. It's fun to watch. It's entertaining. It's definitely tropish. But I'm happy to see them on the screen. I'm happy to see Brandy spitting bars. Now, I don't know who's writing these lyrics on Queens, but I think they're pretty hot. I think it's pretty good. So the other show that Black women are on, because I love just seeing Black women in the medium. Our Kind of People with Yaya.
I need to start it.
America's Next Top Model. She was back there in those days. We knew she was the one who she was trying to be super Black and Afrocentric. She was like, my hair is important. And everybody was like, she don't need to make it this big of a deal. But I'm glad that she has made it a big deal for all these years, because she is one of the only America's Next Top Model contestants who did not win, who's still out there and doing her thing. And so she's starring in this show, Our Kind of People. I sheepishly call it those kind of people or them kind of people, because it's funny to me. The story did kind of, it went slow, but I think they're doing a good job. I think it just needs time to continue to unfold. But I'm happy to see Black women on TV with that one too. So I feel like it's been a good year in that way. I got me some shows out of it.
I need to start watching that one. I do remember when it came out and I was like, all right, during like the winter break, I'll probably, try to watch it. And the other one that came out was the Black Wonder Years. And I was like, I'm gonna give that a little look too.
I love that. I love the Black Wonder Years. It's such a good family TV. Like if anybody with their kids can watch the Wonder Years. And I like the way that they address issues, because they touch them lightly, they get to it, but they come off of it in a way that I think is healthy, so that you can kind of keep having the conversation, that you can keep, like, if you are a parent, you can take the conversation further, I feel. But it's like, it makes it enjoyable enough to just kind of be like, this still feels light TV to me, at least, because of all the heavy TV I think I watch. My other appreciation is that it's centering a little Black boy, which we all know we need more images of little Black boys on television and little Black girls on television to humanize them, unfortunately, because apparently people don't consider us humans. It's a strange thing, but I appreciate that they let this little boy be a little boy. He's not some magical wizard ass kid who's deserving of a TV show. He's just a regular little Black boy. And that feels so good, because I feel like anytime we're going to see Black children on TV, they got to be a genius, or they got to be, like smart guy. It's like the only reason he get his own show is because he's a little Black whiz kid, right? Or like whatever other show, but he's just a regular Black kid, and they let him be a child. And I feel like we need to have more of that on TV. So I really enjoyed it in that way.
Yo, shout out to all those shows, man. I was thinking about some of the shows that we're leaving in 2021, unfortunately.
Oh.
And one of the biggest shows, even though it is, I think that show is a big marker for why a lot of these other shows are successful, and that's Blackish. So shout out to Blackish season and in the series. And I'm just like, wow, like it's definitely the end of an era.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, definitely the end of. But Blackish, I think Blackish did something with Black folks on mainstream television in this like really funny, quirky way. That really set the stage for, you know, shows like Insecure, shows like Harlem. When you was talking about Harlem, I was thinking about Godfather Harlem. I know that came out in like 2019, but if y'all not watching Godfather Harlem, I highly
I have to check it out.
recommend Godfather Harlem. Oh my, I mean, I love history, and I love the 50s and 60s era, the Black Power movement, civil rights, and all of that. But you just see how much the drug game, politics, the Black church, the Nation of Islam, like how they all just kind of they all work with and against each other. You know what I'm saying? For the sake of why we are here, why we are where we are today. You know what I'm saying? And it shows how complicated Black life is. You know what I'm saying? And it tells the story of Bumpy Johnson, a gangster who, you know, he sold heroin. Yeah, he, you know, did a lot to disrupt life in his community. Granted, he wasn't the only one. You know what I'm saying? It was all kind of drug dealers and gangsters. It was a lot of it was the Italians and whatnot. But yeah, you know, it like the fact that they showed how these people like work together, and how the lines between good and evil, and righteous and ratchet, good and evil, legal and illegal, are so blurred when it comes to what Black people got to do. Now, maybe white people can live by those rigid lines, but Black folks, we got to dip into the underworld sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We got to, the pastors gotta do business with the gangsters. The gangsters gotta do business with the politicians. The politicians gotta go to the churches. We all, the Christians gotta go to the Muslim ministers. You know, we all gotta work together to get to where we at. So it's an incredible show. So that show was big. Blood and Water.
I didn't watch
That's the
Blood
other
and
one I need to
Water.
check out. Before we get to Blood and Water, I'll say on Godfather of Harlem that the person who plays Malcolm X does such an excellent job. My goodness.
And
Adam really good.
I'm definitely binging this next week.
Giuliani, Jen, something.
I can't wait to binge this.
They do, yeah, they're amazing. But shout out to the Nigerians, shout out to the South Africans, man. South African Nigerians did their thing with music this year. Your boy Wizkid, all them. Don't need no other the Nigerians took over, and I'm here for it. Made in Lagos, I'm here for it. But them South Africans know how to make a doggone story. They know. I need
to get on that. Maybe even today as I grade.
I've been watching. Speaking of South Africa, there's this girl named Boulay who I love. Who's South African. She's so good. I love her. She put out an album this year, and she's my number one track in the 2021 replay. Like, I love her. I love her. Yes.
Yeah. So shout out to that, man. Yeah. I know we had to move on to the what was it, the social justice or political, even though we kind of but
I mean, yeah, we touched on some of the stuff earlier, but this was also, a really interesting year for some stuff related to, I don't know, I'll say Black justice in quote marks, because I haven't found like the right word to describe it, but thinking about the convictions of white folks, specifically white police officers and white vigilantes, who have been convicted of crimes. And those crimes are specifically either murder or manslaughter against Black folks that they either stopped in the street for like a traffic offense or something like that, or some other sort of suspected activity. And again, whether those were cops or vigilantes. So Kim Potter recently, was this yesterday or, just like a couple days ago, found guilty on manslaughter of Dante Wright. Derek Chauvin found guilty for George Floyd. And then I can't remember their names, the goons down.
Yeah, they don't deserve to be named. None of them need to be named, but yeah.
that murdered Ahmaud Arbery. And that, I mean, that whole situation was just like a mess with like in terms of like the cover up and the non-charges and stuff like that, and the way the defense invoked Black religion and tried to have like a side trial of Black pastorhood. But yeah, I mean, just at the end of the day, juries actually reaching a unanimous decision that these folks were guilty and deserve to be held accountable, at least in the way that we understand accountability now. That we've never seen that.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I think that I love to see it, and I'm hoping it's not just a trend. What I like to think is that the resistance, the more violent, I don't even like to call it violent, the more aggressive forms of resistance in 2020, the burning of cities, the burning of buildings, the blowing up of cop cars,
blowing them up.
You can't tell me that don't have an effect.
Absolutely.
You know I'm all for peaceful protests. Don't get it twisted. I'm all for peaceful protests. I don't want to see nobody dying. I don't it's not that it's a pretty thing to see cities and stuff on fire and all of that. But if that's the only thing you understand, that's fear. Some people say, I know it's a podcast. And one of the questions they ask is, would you rather be loved or would you rather be feared? And I generally say love. You know what I'm saying? I want to be loved. I want people to love me, whatever, But I remember, I think it was Chico Bean or somebody who said feared. And he was like, and it's not a good thing, but unfortunately, you will get more people to do what they need to do for you out of fear than out of love. You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately that, and when I really had to sit and think about it, I was like, he's right. Right. You have to have a certain level of power and wield power in order to get a lot of larger things accomplished. Most people on a grander scale are not going to do a lot of things for you out of I'm not talking about like your friends or family and something like that. I'm talking about when you're talking about business, when you're talking about politics, Barack Obama talks about it in his book. You know what I'm saying? It's about what you can negotiate, how you can put your power against another person's power. And then all those civil rights bills and stuff that got passed, that was passed not because white folks loved us. It was because we fear them bringing all these people to the Capitol. We fear them bringing all these people to to the bridge. We fear the way in which we fear the way in which the world is looking at us. We fear the loss of money. South Africa got rid of apartheid because they feared the loss of money in their businesses because America started to divert. It's fear. It's not love. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so when I think about that, I'm like, and what you were saying about all these people getting, I'm like, that is all driven off of, I believe in a lot of ways, white folks and the country are having a certain level of fear for various reasons. Fear of the collective resistance of Black folks, fear of the narrative of the United States, fear of the larger levels of consciousness that is being elevated within white folks, fear of a critical race theoretical idea that is now becoming mainstream in academia. Like, it is the fear of these things that I think is what's driving some of this stuff. And so we just have to look at that as a victory for us and say, continue to put our foot on that gas, continue to keep our foot on their necks. Do not be afraid to do what it is that we need to do to ensure that justice is served for our people and to ensure that we are treated equally, period.
Agreed. So are you saying in 2022, I need to become a goon? Because I'm okay with becoming a goon or becoming a mobster. Because I already have my mobster name. It's Ambina Dibidanza.
You're not becoming a goon.
Remember, you were prepared. Prepared with that goon name.
Yeah.
I'm Ambina Dibadanza. That's my goon side. It comes out when I'm elevated. And I think that's so interesting, that power, that fear versus love thing. I got to contend with that because I think I can be in a bit of an idealist sometimes. Like, it's the love. It's the love that's motivating. The fear.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a place for like love when there is like interpersonal relationship. When you're talking about like systems, that's when like you're talking about these other dynamics of like fear and power and stuff, because we're not necessarily, I mean, this is a whole nother conversation that we probably could pick up at another time, but like when we're talking about like what life looks like for us, we're not necessarily talking about the one person that we see. Like for example, if I'm walking in Target, which living in central Pennsylvania, it's likely to happen that I might see somebody in like a MAGA outfit or whatever, or a hat or whatever the case is. My issue is not with them, it's with like that whole structure that empowers them. And so and that is speaking to like the power, that's speaking to fear. That's the system that deserves all that heat. And the individuals that make up that system, like perhaps there's room for us to have those individual like love and like switch, but that takes time that we don't have. Like we need to come at this system, and that system deserves that heat. And if you happen to be a person who is a part of that at that moment, I don't know what to tell you.
That is, I've never considered that ever in that way. I love that you separated out the system and the individual. Perhaps the individual needs love or could use love, but the system needs fear.
The system needs that work.
Yo, that's deep. That's heavy for me. I'm so ready for a change of career. So like after I watched this Godfather of Harlem, no telling what Amber's gonna come back as 2022. Call me the Godmother of Atlanta.
If Amber comes back in 2022 as Bumpy Camila, I don't know what we're gonna do with that.
I'm ready for another name change.
I got a whole new way to finance Street Academy podcast.
All of us gonna have the best microphone.
Whole thing going.
They're gonna be like, what happened?
I got this shit coming. I got this shit coming from, you know what I'm saying, from Columbia. Man, what? Well, we got to be straight.
I'm ready to be a goon.
Man,
I gotta start working out, man. I gotta be able to fight. But I ain't really trying to fight. I can use weapons. I ain't really trying to shoot nobody.
We're really thinking this through.
Again, what I told you, you have a way with words. You have a way with getting people to do things and start. You could talk. You kind of like how Olivia Pope created such an instrumental relationship with Hook. That Hook would do anything for her. Like he would kill for her. He would do all this stuff. He would die for her. I feel like you have that kind of power to where you wouldn't have to know how to fight, but you know how to bring people into your movement. Get somebody to die for whatever movement you got going on. So,
John, you just narrated Amber's villain origin story.
I want I'm telling you. Look at her. Look at Frank Lucas.
Freeway Camila.
This is the origin story.
Al Camilla.
We haven't documented Al Camilla. You have awakened the beast.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she'll be.
By this time next year, I might have gold rings. All kinds of gold rings.
The Godmother of Atlanta.
That's what I said. I'm gonna be the Godmother of Atlanta. We're gonna see what
Creek. Yeah, Godmother of Decatur.
We're gonna see where this goes.
Yeah, for
Oh, my
sure.
goodness.
Man. All right,
I'm
y'all.
ready.
I know we about to close this thing out, man. Real quick, super quick. Man, I just want to thank y'all for another year personally.
Mhm.
We did this thing, y'all. We Amber's in character. Like she
I'm done.
in this thing. She in it.
Yeah.
Godmother of Decatur. She in. Right.
Oh wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Switch that up real quick. I know who I am.
But yeah, another great year, Street Academy podcast. We didn't really talk about our episodes. I guess we can do that another. We usually do that on our anniversaries anyway, and we kind of go through our episodes. But great year. Just super quick. What are just one or two things you wanna do in 2022? Some things you want to change, some, a goal, an idea, whatever. Super quick. I know for me, I want to become more independent, financially continue to build my business, and just continue to work on myself, seek peace, and just and happiness and joy, and learning how to surrender, continue to learn how to let go, let the Most High continue to work and just do amazing things in my life.
Whew. I know that we said that we weren't going to talk about Rona, but like that is a big part of my New Year's resolution. A few weeks ago, like once before Omarion hit, I booked a trip. And I just had been thinking, and I was talking to Kunle about this, about the fact that before the Rona, I traveled a lot, and that was like really important to me, just in terms of like being a balanced person. That's kind of like my outlet. Like some people have whatever their outlets are. Mine was at least once a year, probably twice a year, just like going somewhere, sitting on a beach, just having that moment. And I haven't done it because of, restrictions and just concerns about like health and spreading the virus and all that stuff. But I came to a realization, even with Omarion spreading, that it feels to me that there's little to no concern for who I am outside of what I can produce for this economy. And so it's perfectly fine for me to show up and be in a room and sit with close to 100 people every day, because I teach and I have different classes coming in and out, as we seek to get our economy back to normal. But when it comes to my leisure in terms of travel, going to beaches, like that's when I have to like cut it off. That's when I have to be like, no, we are in a pandemic. Like, don't do anything unnecessary. And I'm like, unnecessary for who? Like me being in a room with 100 other people doesn't feel necessary given the technology that we have. But me being on a beach once a year just to get my mind together feels extremely necessary.
Right.
And so in this next year, I want to be really intentional about prioritizing my health and wellness as a Black woman who this country does not care about who I am and like those particular parts of my identity at all. So I want to be intentional about prioritizing that over the economy. And so that might mean that I have my classes on Zoom for the whole semester because I need to be other places. And that's like the safest thing for me. So that's my goal going into the new year, to be out.
Good. Oh.
I feel that. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. And just you saying, like, everyone's focused on getting the economy back to normal, but they're not focused on getting the people back to normal. We're not okay. People are not okay. And I keep seeing that. I have two things. One might sound oversimplified, but it's something that it's here, and it's just do it. It's just do it. That's one of the things. It's just like, just start whatever the thing is that I want to do. Just do it, Amber. That's what I've been getting that message for like the last month or two. And I'm like, that's going to be one of my themes for 2022 is, to kind of move beyond the perfectionism, the desire for perfection, which is really just a fear of failure in a sense, or fear of judgment or rejection, insecurities, all those things. I just want to move beyond that and just like fear of not knowing enough to do something, not having the background for something. Just do it, because I think I struggle with needing to feel like in order to be it, I need to do it when I can already be it just because I am, if that makes any sense. It's like no one needs to tell you sometimes that you already are this. And so it's like sometimes the only people who get to be considered they are it is that they're doing it. And I think that's because there's a lot of people who are stuck in jobs that don't really feel like themselves, but so they can't do the thing that they really want to do. And so they don't feel like they can be that. Like, for example, for me, one is like coaching, or like even a singer or a rapper or an artist, when they're just like, in order for me to be an artist, I have to be producing art, and it's just like, you can be an artist. If you're an artist, you're an artist, or it's just like, well, if I'm a musician, I got to be producing albums, I got to be releasing stuff, it's that kind of pressure. But it's just like, no one has to credential you to be the thing that you already know that you are. The thing that you are is that. So that's something that I'm reminding myself of, and that I am it already. And so, but attached to that too is to start doing the things that I just want to do. Like, I don't have to be a mainstream artist. I can be an artist. I can produce my stuff because I'm going to produce my stuff. It doesn't have to reach 1 million views. It just needs to be what I want it to be, like created, So I think that's the thing where I have felt that pressure of needing the outside validation of others, or of like some institution to say, hey, now you are certified to be this or to whatever. When if you want to create music, that's it. Be it, just do it. And if like I created a video, I shared it with y'all. Like, it's like, I'm gonna record a video. I didn't go to no film school. I'm not necessarily trying to go to film school, but if I want to make something, I can make it because I can, So that's one thing. And the other thing, I had an epiphany in therapy. So one thing, I'm gonna keep going to therapy because it's great. It's been allowing me the space for more processing, and I will one day at a separate time with y'all be able to go into how I came to this revelation. But one is just to pick me. I'm picking me. Pick me, especially as a woman, as a Black woman. I pick, but just as a person, picking me. I don't need to wait for anybody else to tell me who I am, or to make me feel like I belong, or to make me feel valuable. I pick me, and I'm going to start picking me every single time. I pick me. So that's where I am. That's 2022. And along with that, one more thing, I am going to be Ambina Dibadanza, the godmother, of Decatur, where it's greater.
I love Godmother Decatur.
Instigator, moderator,
and what you said,
rejuvenator.
Amber Demanza, what you said?
Oh no, it's Ambina Dibadanza.
Ambina Dibadanza.
Ambina Dibadanza.
That's cool.
That's my Italian mob name. I feel like I was an Italian mob wife or actual mobster in a past life. I'm sure I was.
Dibadanza, yo. Whole new branding for Street Academy podcast. Whole new branding. Yo. The next time we do photos, a photo shoot, we gotta dress in some gangster.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be crazy.
That would be fun.
That'd be crazy. So it's been wait. Before I do that, all hearts and minds clear. Everybody good? We good?
Yes.
Let 2021 out. It's done. It's been another episode, y'all. Street Academy podcast, where we keep 1 foot in the academy and 1 foot in the streets. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Thank y'all for commenting and subscribing and DMing and all those different things. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all follow us at Street Academy Podcast. You can follow us individually at J. Paul Grant, at Amber Camilla, at Jack of the Mission, on all the things. And with that being said, we out. See y'all in 2022.
Bye.
That you know got their feet upon the neck of the haters, the game and the devil like can't